Howdy, welcome everyone to Shabbat Night Talk. My name is Uziah Lewy. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation D.C.B. BINAH. That means the House of Knowledge, Wisdom, and Understanding. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for food, clothing, and shelter. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And all the things that He provides for us. Food, clothing, and shelter. Thanking the Most High for my life. The life of Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth. Giving praises unto this great and mighty King. And just being thankful for all things and everything. We almost say hallelujah. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for life. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Food, clothing, and shelter. And wisdom of all things and everything. I'm thankful to this great King for everything that He's done for me in my life. Thanking the Creator for all my loved ones. To all the people that for all the people who've been a great influence to me. Thanking the Most High God for their lives. And I pray that the Most High God continue to be with us and bless us and protect us. Guide us and shelter us and nurture us. Continue to walk us in the path of righteousness. Continue to lead us in the place where we keep uplifting His name and we stay in a positive state of praising this great King and acknowledging Him and doing the things that He desires of us in righteousness. Thanking this great God for all things and everything. Give me 1 second here. As you can see, the ironing board is up. Aesthetically, that didn't look too good, so I just had to make it disappear. So thanking the Creator. Don't forget to share this in all your social media and especially on Facebook. I'm doing it from the D.C.B channel. Gonna start using this page. The D.C.B page, being that it's the page for the congregation. So I want to start doing the live streams from there, and it just makes it easier for, maybe not for everyone, but everyone eventually will catch on. Giving all glory to the Creator of heaven and earth. Thanking the Most High King once again. Thanking the Most High King for your lives. Everyone that takes the time out to join us on Shabbat Night Talk. Forgive me for last week. Sometimes I'm extremely tired, and well, you know what it is. I gotta call it an early night or whatever, but we're definitely here, and and I'm thankful to this great King. I'm thankful for my life, the life of Yisrael. I'm thankful, we pray for all those people who died in that boat in Missouri. That was tough, That was tough to see all those people that died, and that was a tough situation right there. But nonetheless, we know that the Most High God gives and He takes away. Blessed be His name. The people of that, I never seen that before, an amphibian boat. That was like, that was something new to me. I had never saw anything like that. So, once I seen that, I thought it was crazy, but them waves got real rough real quick, and it makes us understand the power of the Creator and all the things that He does. There was a family of 11 there, and only 2 survived. 9 people died of that family. So it makes you think of the immense power of the Most High and how He could humble us. How He could humble us really quick. You know, so we have to be aware of the greatness of the Most High and how in His might and in His strength He could break us down. So we have to be mindful of that and always give glory to the Most High God regardless of where we at. When we come and we come before Yah, no matter where we at, even if you're not around the people that you're usually around, we always gotta give glory to this great King. I mean, no matter where we at, we always gotta glorify this great King. We know that He gives and He takes away. Blessed be His name. So we give Him all the glory and we give Him all the praise. And our hearts go out to those families out there. Can you bring me my cell phone, the D.C.B cell phone? Prayers go out to all those people out there, the families of all the people that lost their lives. I'm not one of those brothers who celebrates the death of people, who rejoice in the death of people. I don't care what race they are or whatever it is. Tragedy is a tragedy, and it's supposed to make us consider. It says, better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of mirth, because in the house of mourning, you will consider. You understand what I'm saying? So, if you're going to the house of mourning and you're not considering, then you're outside of what the precept is saying. Because truly in the house of mourning, it doesn't matter, what's going on. In the house of mourning, at least there you will bethink yourself and think about all the things that's happening and all the things that's going on and so forth and so on. But if you don't consider, then that means you have to work on yourself as a person. So the house of mourning is for us to consider and to think, because what you're considering is that you could be the person in that box. So the consideration goes a little bit deeper, It goes a little bit deeper. So we have to be aware of all these things and continue to glorify and magnify the name of the Creator. I'm thankful to the Most High for life, for all things and everything. I'm grateful. It's not anything that I take for granted. I'm always trying to further and push the line of Israel. Yes, I heard that it was 31 people on the boat, and I believe 17 of the 31 died, something like that. So it's rough, and those things make us bethink ourselves. It makes us think about our lives, consider the things that we do, and not to take life for granted. And those who are part of our lives that we care for, we must let them know that we care for them. I think that's important and everything. And if we do that, I think that will bring us closer. Even as Israel, we need to begin to follow the precepts and walk in the precepts that the Most High God left for us to follow. I think it's important. And if we do that, I think that we will be in a better place as a community, as a nation of people, as just brothers and sisters, one with another. Just it'll be real helpful if we were to consider all the things that we do, and just do what the Most High God tells us to do. You know, I think it's important for us to consider. So once again, you know, our hearts go out and our deepest sympathy go out to the families of all those people that lost their lives in Missouri in that boat. Excuse me right here. The keyboard is giving me a little problem. Thank you. So how's everyone feeling? I hope everyone had a great Shabbat night dinner. I know y'all working on the dessert right now, whether it be ice cream and cake or pie or ice cream, cake, pie. What else? Cookies. What else? Peach cobbler. Whatever it is that y'all having out there. The stuff that y'all like. Whatever it might be, I know that y'all enjoying it. Have an extra cookie for me. I might have some watermelon tonight, because I'm trying to cut down on some weight. So I had a nice Shabbat meal. I usually have some snacks, but I'm trying to cut down on some weight. Somehow I can't see the chat from YouTube. Let me see if I could get it on my phone, because somehow my computer is tweaking and it's not showing me the chat from YouTube. So I'm going to go into YouTube and see if I could get the chat from there. I'm sure. There you go. I see all my peoples now. Shabbat Shalom. So, tonight I'm going to read something that I think is pertinent. I'm going to go into the Apocrypha, into the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Ben Sirach, or Sirach, the book of Sirach, chapter 28. And as you see the title, Vengefulness, or being vengeful, or vengeance. What is vengeance? Vengeance is basically trying to get evil for something that someone did to you. Let's look at the definition of vengeance in its entirety, so that we won't be mistaken what vengeance is. So right here it says vengeance. Punishment inflicted or retribution exacted for an injury or wrong. Right? Synonyms: revenge, retribution, retaliation, payback, requital, reprisal, satisfaction, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Your appetite for vengeance has destroyed your life. So they use, and that's a heck of a statement there. It was in quotation. I don't know who said that. Your appetite for vengeance has destroyed your life, because some people truly destroyed their lives by being vengeful or trying to be vengeful. And it takes a lot of time out of your life to try to be vengeful or to try to get even with someone. That takes a lot of effort. So the Most High, And in the book it tells us to basically to forsake vengeance. And it speaks about an eye for an eye, a tooth for tooth. It's like I told people before. People misconstrued the eye for an eye, tooth for tooth thing. It wasn't that if somebody just knocked out your tooth that you could come back and just knock their tooth out. It had to be a trial, jury, the judges or whatever it may be. They listen out the case, and then they proceeded with the judgment of if you knock someone's tooth out, your tooth shall get knocked out. If you knock someone's eye out, then your eye should be knocked out, to make things even. But it wasn't a thing that it was like in the spur of the moment. You understand? The Most High God didn't want, like I said, vigilantes. He didn't want people out of control and doing what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. He didn't want any of that. He wanted us to be a civilized people, to come up to judges, to adjudicate cases, and to do things of that nature. But that out of control, doing what you want to do, no, it wasn't about that. So when we talk about I'm going to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, Sirach, chapter 28, verse 1. Hallelujah. And it reads, the vengeful will face Jehovah's vengeance, for he keeps a strict account of their sins. So if you're a vengeful person, if you're a person that likes to get even, who don't allow anything to get over or forgive people, then the Most High God is going to take his vengeance out on you. And then we understand the things that we do as God's people against him. And if he was to be vengeful towards us, then we won't even exist anymore. We would not even exist anymore if he was vengeful towards us and exacting each and every one of the sins that we commit against him. Can you imagine if the Most High would be vengeful against us and forsaken his commandments, his laws, statutes, and judgments, and forsaken the ways that he told us to walk in? So what the writer's basically saying is that if you like to be vengeful, be aware of the vengeance of the Creator, and you don't want his vengeance against you, because it's going to be 10 times worse than what the vengeance that you will have towards another human being. So what is basically telling us, what, in a nutshell, what this chapter is speaking about is for us to forsake vengefulness and to stop being so vengeful, try to get even, retribution, retaliation, payback. Stop trying to do that. It says here, forgive your neighbor the wrong he has done, and then your sins will be pardoned when you pray. So this is very important. So even if your neighbor has done something wrong or has wronged you, the writer is saying forgive him, so that when you pray, when you face the east and you stretch your hands out before the Creator and you're asking for forgiveness, right? Then the Most High God would hear your prayer, because you have shown mercy to someone who has wronged you. In turn, we wrong the Creator when we break his law, statutes, and commandments. Therefore, when we go before him and we ask for forgiveness, we want him to hear us, right? And he forgives us. So it is when someone has wronged you, you should learn to forgive them, because God forgives us all. And if he was vengeful towards us, then we wouldn't be here. It says here, does any harbor anger against another and expect healing from Yah? So you harbor anger against another person, hatred and anger, right? but yet you look to be healed by the Most High God. You have a pain. You have certain things going on. You have cancer that appears in your body, but you so hate this person and you want to be vengeful and you want to get back at this person. Your own spirit, your own ruach, your own your own vengefulness is going to work against you, and that cancer, whatever that disease that you got in you, is going to metastasize and it's going to take you up out of here, because you cannot expect for the Most High God to hear you in your time of need when you won't even hear or forgive someone who has wronged you. Understand what I'm saying? The Most High God looks into all these things, and he exacts everything from us, especially when we deal in situations like this, to where we can't be where we can't forgive someone or forgive people for wrongs that they have done us. It says here, if one has no mercy towards another like himself, can he then seek pardon for his own sins? Just think about it. If you don't have mercy for someone, a human being like yourself, how can you look for your sins to be atoned? Or the Most High God to forgive you of your iniquities? But you can't forgive someone for a wrong that they may have done. So we have to work on ourselves. We have to be circumspect, and we have to do a self-analysis to understand exactly what is it that motivates us to be the type of people that we are. And as we don't have that affinity for each other, or even have that forgiving heart for each other, we have to be very careful, because we always seek for the Most High God to forgive us and to help us. It says here, if a mere mortal harbors wrath, who will make an atoning sacrifice for his sins? So if we as mortals, we harbor, meaning we store wrath, and listen, anger kills. Anger kills. It takes you out of here. So when you see a person that is wrathful and is vengeful, that eventually is going to take them out. That's not wisdom. That's not us. Now, the writer is not telling us to be idiots and stupid. We know that there's some people that you might need to separate from. Shalom, Todd. There's some people that you might need to separate from and not really have them at arm's length. Forgive them, but have them at arm's length. And you know that that's what it is with them. Because there's some people that are never going to change. But what the writer is telling us here is that we need to learn to be to be a people that forgives if we want God to answer our prayers and forgive our sins. It's just as simple as that. And it makes a lot of sense. Remember the end of your life and set enmity aside. Remember corruption and death, and be true to the commandments. So remember the end of your life, meaning that there's a time when we're all going to die, and you don't want to go to the grave with resentments and anger and hating people in your heart and being vengeful to the day that you die, right? So it's telling you, remember the end of your life and set enmity to the side. Set hatred to the side. Set anger to the side. So that enmity is hatred. That hate that we build up. Set that to the side and learn to love people. Chief of Chiefs, he spoke to me and he told me that when his Ima passed away, this was years back, that it made him realize that he had to be on a mission of love. And I understand that mission of love, like what he was saying, because he was already an elder at that point. You know, he was an elder. His Ima was definitely an elder. She lived a ripe old age. And he said, listen, he told me personally, when my mother passed away, when my Ima passed away, it made me think and understand that I have to be about love. And when you become an elder, you stern and what's right, but you also have to be filled with all those attributes that the Most High God has. You know, merciful, having that loving kindness for people. As an elder, these are all things that you have to practice as an elder. You know, being an elder is a fabulous position if you play it in the right way and you do it the right manner, in the right manner. Shabbat Shalom, Talmud. So we have to we definitely have to forsake anger and wrath and all those things. It's not good for us, you know. It says here, verse 7, remember the commandments and do not be angry with your neighbor. Remember the covenant of the Most High and overlook faults. So remember the commandments and not be angry with your neighbor, because first of all, anger resteth in the bosom of a fool. And the commandment tells us that we can't hate our neighbor in our heart. The commandment tells us that we can't hold any grudge against your people. So all these things would diffuse us getting into situations with each other and having these type of feelings for each other, that all they will do is destroy us and take us down to the grave even faster than what we need to go down to the grave. You don't even live your full life or to your full potential, because the stress that you carry is destroying your fibers and your sinews and your muscles, and it's giving you arthritis, and it's causing your eyes to go bad, and it's causing your hip to hurt and your back and your spine and all these things, because it takes effort to be this way. You understand? So these are things that we have to be aware of. It says here, remember the covenant of the Most High and overlook faults. Remember the covenant of the Most High, that He'll be our God and we'll be His people, and overlook faults. Now, of course, there are some faults that you're not going to overlook. That's understood. But what it's telling you is that, listen, things are going to happen. There's a proverb that says, do not be angry when you hear your servant talk about you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it, and I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, because you have talked about others also. So somebody talked about you, says something about you. It's not right. You know, you're looking for the person to apologize. But then there's a thing called water under the bridge, or you overlook certain things. You said, all right, whatever. Maybe the person just had a bad moment, you know, and maybe I'll address them about it and we could get over this. But to harbor that anger and that vengefulness and all of that, that's going to cost you, you know, headache and pain. Not the other person. It causes you headache and pain. So we have to be aware of those things. Number 8, refrain from strife, and your sins will be fewer. For the hot tempered kindle strife. It said refrain from strife, and your sins will be fewer. Because when you get hype, or you get emotional, and you're ready to fight, things are said to offend, that becomes sinful. You do damage to people that don't need damage to be done to. You insult people. Things happen, you know, and you add more sin to yourself Because anger resteth in the bosom of a fool. So when we get angry, we do not think. Nobody, I don't care what race, creed, whatever you are, if you don't learn to control your anger, if you don't learn to control your inner being and who you are, right? Then you want to bring yourself a whole heap of mess. Because you can't control your anger. You can't control your emotions. Says, he who ruleth his spirit is better than he who ever takes a city. Because it takes a lot more to control your spirit than to overtake a city. That's just brute strength. But the spirit is something that's within, that jumps out. Somebody says something to you, you react. Right, almost like the Hulk. Perfect analogy. When David Banner could control his spirit, he would never turn into the Hulk. And you know, and I know I'm using a fictional character, but it's the same thing, you know. When you want to control that spirit so you don't turn into the Hulk. You know, and that's what it is. Great analogy, Yisrael Moshe Adon. Great analogy. So yeah, everybody, you want to control the Hulk within you. It's as simple as that. You know, and that makes a lot of sense. It says here, and the sinner disrupts friendships and sows discord among those who are at peace. And the sinner, meaning talebearer, right? They disrupt friendships and sow discord among those who are at peace. So you're at peace with people and somebody come and throw something in a monkey wrench, as they say, in the midst of you, and now you and someone that's been friends for so many years, y'all are at odds. It's just the people that go back and forth, right? It's just the people that go back and forth. Somebody told me Telehim 119, 165. Let's see. Psalms 119, verse 165. I'm going to look for it right now. Maybe there's a nugget there that I could find. Told that to my sister Lavia, Aliyah Bat Yosef. You see here. Bear with me a little. Bear with me. Psalms 119. 119. Verse 165. Ooh. That'll go a long way. And it reads, here we go. Great peace have those who love your Torah, and nothing can make them stumble. Can't be said any better than that. Great peace have those who love your Torah. So when you love that Torah, you're going to live by those precepts. You know, you're going to live by those precepts, which is not to have a grudge against your brother, which is not to hate your brother in your heart. Those are the precepts of the Torah, and you live by them. It says, and nothing can make them stumble. Nothing can make you stumble. Meaning nothing could divert you out of the way of the Torah. So even if people are not acting accordingly, you could still control your spirit and not let it get out of hand. Great precept. Torah, my sister. We here, you see, we help out each other. I'm not, you know, that's what it's about. That's what I'm about. You know, we help out each other. We get that stuff going, you know. I don't know what happened here. But whatever it is, so see here. Hope y'all can still see me on Google Hangout. All right, here we go. Now I could see the chat. Good. I didn't know what was going on. I felt a little bit bad over here. Let's see. Shabbat Shalom. Good topic. You take it out on this person close to you, even though the situation is someone else. Right? Good answers. I think it's important to not act on your anger. Maybe it's called upset. Okay, control it. So being able to control yourself is key. It was Psalm 119, verse 165. Psalm 119, verse 165. So far y'all with me? Hope y'all with me. Hope I'm not losing y'all, or I'm not dragging it out too much, but I'm just trying to be real specific in the things that we do and what we have to understand and what we have to. It's a battle, man, because we coming from being Joe and Black and Shaniqua and Tamara and Josephine and Malik and Tawana. We coming from being all those people, so those people are still in there. Any minute, Sharkeisha come out and Tawana and Shaniqua, they come out. And you know what it means? We're humans, Hey, we in life we progress, we make progress. We're not perfect. So sometimes you see a blow up. And you want to cover your mouth and like, ooh, we human beings. It happens. See a little blow up, people blow steam, and husband and a wife argue, or certain things happen. You try to minimize it, but that's life. That's real. I get that. I understand that. It doesn't offend me. You know what I'm saying? As long as we could keep it to where it doesn't get out of hand, then that's part of it. That's part of life. But as we go along in life, we improve it. We try to get better. We try to get better. We try to get better. And as we get better, then you eliminate those things even more and more. But no young couple that just marries just have a perfect, relationship. I mean, you got people probably get into less arguments than others, but an argument is going to come. A disagreement is going to come. It's how you work through those things is what determines whether or not this is going to, this relationship is going to survive. And also in relationships, you're talking about anger on both sides, because sometimes we tend to just judge on the men's side that men get angry and furniture start moving and people start getting their hands put on. But in all occasions, it's not like that. Sometimes the man is the level-headed one, and the sister is the one that's boisterous and attacking. And those are facts. I'm not making that up. Those, in some relationships, it happens like that. So we have to learn to control anger on both sides and be understanding and understand that anger is destroying us. And being vengeful, sitting down all day thinking about another person and what they might have done to you is taking more away from you than that person, because that person most likely is not thinking about you. You understand what I'm saying? So these are things that we have to keep in mind. It says here, for the hot temper kindles strife, and the sinner disrupts friendships, and so discord among those who are at peace. So a hot-tempered person kindles strife. They kindle a fight. It says here, verse 10, in proportion to the fuel, so will the fire burn. And in proportion to the obstinacy, so will strife increase. Let's look up that word. I was thinking about that word. Unless I'm saying it wrong. Look up that word right there. You see, I still look up words. It says here, The quality or condition of being obstinate, stubbornness, inflexibility, intractability, obduracy, mullishness, pig-headedness, willfulness. So I think that's what it's speaking about when it's talking about obstinacy, right? In proportion to the fuel, so will the fire burn. Meaning, as much fuel as you put in a fire, that's how big will it burn. So the more wood you put into a bonfire, the bigger the flame will be. So how much you put into a situation, into a strife, into a back and forth, is how big it will blow up. Your words, what you're saying, how you're acting, all these things will blow up maybe something minor into something bigger, right? And it goes here and it says, and in proportion to obstinacy, so will strife increase, right? To stubbornness, to inflexibility, right? To mullishness, to pig-headedness. That also, when you acting ignorant and you don't want to hear nothing, and you being inflexible or whatever, that will also make a situation grow and will make a situation get out of control. So these are all things we have to keep in mind and keep in account, that when we get into those positions, when we get angry, and I'm talking it because I'm the teacher, but I get angry. You know, I'm not perfect. Like I keep telling y'all, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I do things that people are upset with me about, but I tried. I try to do my best. I try to serve God first and foremost. I know how to do that. You know, although I make mistakes, I know how to do that. I know how to serve God. And I'm not looking backwards in serving God. And sometimes people don't understand you and the strictness and the strength that you got in serving the Creator. People don't understand that. They take that and they get offended by that. There's nothing to get offended over. You know, I serve God. This is what I believe in. This is what I love to do. Whether you want to do it or whether you want to, it's up to you. But this is what I do. And in my presence, you know, I'm going to demand that from any individual. You understand? I'm going to demand that from any individual, whether male or female, to respect my square and respect what I'm about. It goes on and it says, in proportion to a person's strength will be his anger, and in proportion to his wealth, he will increase his wrath. So, saying the bigger the person, well, not necessarily the bigger the person, because some bigger people, they know the damage they could do, so they try to keep their cool. You know, they try to relax. And the more your wealth, the more, you know, the bigger your wrath will be, because you got money. Money goes a long way. You know, especially in crooked societies where you could bribe judges, where you could bribe juries and stuff like that. You know, if somebody with money has it out for you, then you could be good as dead in certain societies. So this is what it's talking about. It says here, verse 11, a hasty quarrel kindles a fire, and a hasty dispute sheds blood. A hasty quarrel, meaning you haven't spoken, you know, you haven't talked it out. It's just boom. We see each other, we say some words, and we start fighting. That gets people hurt. That make people lose their lives. But if we use rationale and we think about the things that we do before we do them, then we won't get into them and then not be living with regrets, because a lot of us, we live with regrets. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind. It says here, I like this next one, verse 12. If you blow on a spark, it will glow. If you spit on it, it will be put out. yet both come out of your mouth. So what it's telling you is, what it's telling us is, if you have a little spark, right, and you blow, you ever see you blow on something to start the fire, and it starts to glow, meaning it starts to, that, you know, if you put something to it that's flammable, that little glow will turn into a flame. That's how things start out. From small things, they become bigger. So it's saying, but also, if you spit on that little branch that might have that little glow on it, if you spit on it, that would stop it. So what it's telling us is, through the mouth, right, we could either blow things up, right, by the words that we say, or we could calm them down. But what often happens with us as a people is that our ego kicks in, right? Our ego kicks in, and it's like, I'm a man, you're not going to belittle me, and blah, blah, blah. And no one is trying to relax. You know, and unfortunately, in our communities, you know, in the black communities, this is prevalent. This is what's going on. That's right. It says, a soft answer turneth away wrath. That's the exact precept. But we have to practice that, you know. You know how many people lost their lives because of the things that they said to other people? A man inviting another man to his genitalia has caused people to lose their lives. Talking, you know, insulting words, anything. And you know how many people have spared their lives by just toning down the situation and not arguing and fighting, and because sometimes people are just waiting for that adrenaline to rush up. So those are things that we have to keep in mind. Hope y'all getting this lesson. Hope y'all understanding what I'm trying to say. Very important. So you see my brother Rishon Yisrael, who's a nurse, it's a registered nurse, says, stress anger literally kills. This is on YouTube chat. Over a long period of time, stress can increase cortisol levels in the body. Cortisol is the primary hormone in response to stress. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad when y'all are in lockstep with me. Somebody says, yes, Proverbs 15:1 actually works. Let's go there. Let's see what Proverbs 15:1 said. Y'all teaching this lesson with me, so. It says Proverbs 15:1. Where's the Proverbs? All right. Let's see our sister Kawa, what saved her, or what she used it on a parent. It says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And that's basically it. That's what we do. You know, it's hard for us to do that. You know, it's still a work in progress. We still got to work that out and resolve that in ourselves. To agree with a fool and depart. All these things are things that we still got to practice. Admit it. I still have to practice them, and I'm the one teaching it. I still have to practice them because I get angry sometimes. But with time, you're supposed to tone it down. You're supposed to see. You see, that was like with Moreh Mishael. That's what everybody was alluding to. You know, like, he was an elder, what you would really say was an elder. You see true definition of elders, they have elevated to levels, right? To now where they're advising you, they're talking to you, they're giving you words that are like nourishment to your bones, you know. And that's what was up with Moreh Mishael. Anytime you see him, even if he's correcting you in a manner where it's loving, right? He's telling you, you know, come on, what are you doing? You know, and he gives you a smile, and he knows how to tone down the situation. He's not going to attack you, but he's going to let you know that you're doing something wrong. And that's how you grow, you know, that as an elder, that's what you do. So these are all great lessons and things that we need to know about being vengeful, our anger, the way that we attack people, the way that we go at people, the way that we hold grudges, all these things. It says here, verse 13, curse the gossips, the double tongue, for they destroy the peace of many. So the people who gossip, the people who have double tongues, meaning they agree with you and they agree with the other person, say curse them all. Get them out the midst of you because they destroy peace amongst people. You got to know who these people are and get rid of them. Get them out the midst of you. All right, so now everybody's coming up with their precepts. Everybody's coming up with their precepts about it. So I'm going to touch on it. I'm going to touch on everybody's precepts. Let me see. It said Mishlei, chapter 19, verse 11. Let's see what it says. Y'all helping me on my lesson. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook a transgression. Same thing that this book is saying that we reading over here in the Apocrypha. Said the discretion of a man makes him slow to anger. A discretion is a discreet person is a thinking person. So you see a situation and someone is doing certain things, but you're not so quick to be reactionary and to be angry. You think the situation out, you relax, you think about it. You say, well, you know what? I'm not going to get angry over that. Said, and it is his glory to overlook a transgression. And it is his glory to overlook it. That means people will look at you and be like, man, you're the man because you let that go. And it's always like that. People be like, man, you're the bigger man. You know, I respect that. Rather than you get, because we know what you could have done to that person, but I respect the fact that you took the high road and you just let it go. People, they glory in that. They love that. They love to see that. They love to see people who could control their spirits and their temper. It says, slander has shaken many and scattered them from nation to nation. It has destroyed strong cities and overturned the houses of the great. So slander is a dangerous thing. You talk falsely about people. You talk negatively about people. That's all slander. That stuff destroys nations and people. We have to stay away from that. And we have to stay away from slanderous people. They will destroy you. And you know slander when you hear it. It's clear. I mean, it's clear. It's plain. You understand it when it's in the midst of you, slander. So we need to stay away from that and slanderous people. It said, slander has driven virtuous women from their homes and deprived them out and deprived them of the fruit of their toil. This is a biggie word right here. Oh, child, I seen that bum down there. He was down there with that woman. Bop, 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 bop. bop, 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 bop. And misery loves company. The one who's telling you is a bitter divorced woman, and even if you and your husband has gone through a rough patch, but all the people on the outside that chime in or got something to say to you, and you lend them that air, they just want you in that same misery with them. It's a old saying that tells you that misery loves company. And then it says here, slander has driven virtuous women from their homes and deprived them of the fruit of their toil. So when your husband get up, now you deprive from that, because he's no longer your husband. Y'all are no longer together. You're separated because you listen to some gossip or you listen to a slanderer and you went for it and you accepted it. So those are things that we have to be aware of. Men and women, we have to be aware of the slanderers that come around and do things to try to break up people, break up relationships. These are things that are characteristic in some people. And when you see it, you have to recognize it and understand that you can't take advice from these people. This is their characteristics. This is what they do. Separate yourself. Those who pay heed to slander will not find rest, nor will they settle down in peace. So if you like listening to slander, you won't find rest, because your spirit is always going to be vexed. You're always going to be, on as they say, you're always going to be on go mode. It's just a bunch of stuff that comes with that. It's a bunch of stuff. It says here, verse 17. The blow of a whip raises a whelp, but a blow of the tongue crushes the bones. Sometimes you'd rather somebody hit you than to say those insulting words or those damaging words. You'd rather somebody hit you. So there used to be a saying that says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Shoot. Sticks and stones may hurt your bones, but words hurt. Everybody knows that words hurt. So be careful of what you say to people in your anger. Husband and wives, people who are together. Those things right there are very detrimental. Watch how you talk to your husband. Don't belittle him, even in the house. You might have an argument, but don't belittle your wife. Don't start calling each other's names and disrespecting each other. Like, those are things that we all have to practice. We all have to practice it. Some people have it better than others, but that's life. This is life, but these are the improvements that we make. You feel? I'm real, man. I'm keeping it real with y'all, because I know what happens. I know what happens when Sarah and Reuben are together. But Sarah used to be precious, and Reuben used to be black from the block. And when push come to shove, Sarah come out. That precious come out and black come out, and they back to stage one. So we're trying to improve that. We're trying to get better with that within ourselves. Sometimes it takes years. It don't happen overnight, but you got to work at it. Many have fallen by the edge of the sword, but not as many as have fallen because of the tongue. So many people have been killed by the sword, but more people have been killed by their tongue, by what they say out of their mouths. The tongue is a deadly thing. We got to learn how to keep it, because the things that you say out your mouth will also resonate. It's like you have you had, let's say you had a best friend, or you had someone who was really close to you. Y'all were best of friends, and then all of a sudden y'all had a argument, a disagreement. But then you begin to say things about the person who was supposed to be your best friend. Oh, he wasn't so and so and so. Instead of keeping your mouth shut and not saying anything and being like, you know, whatever, we'll get over this. We just had a moment. But you start to slander that best friend. That relationship will never be the same again. Perhaps it will never get back to being a friendship. They have people that used to be best of friends that no longer are friends because of the things that come out of a person's mouth. You know, so we have to be careful with the things that we say out of our mouths, because it will cause us not to be at peace with each other. It says here, we reeling it in, y'all. Happy is the one who is protected from it, who has not been exposed to his anger, who has not borne his yoke, and has not been bound with his feathers. For its yoke is a yoke of iron, and its feathers are feathers of bronze. Its death is an evil death, and the grave is preferable to it. It has no power over the godly, that will not be burned in its flame. Those who forsake Yahweh will fall into its power. It will burn among them and will not be put out. It will be sent out against them like a lion. Like a leopard, it will mangle them. As you fence in your property with thorns, so make a door and a bolt for your mouth. As you lock up your silver and gold, so make balances and scales for your words. Take care not to err with your tongue, and fall victim to one lying in wait. So it's telling you, guard your mouth. Listen to what you say before you say something. That's right. Words have, Barbara Smith, you're absolutely right. Words have power and will destroy people. So all these things here, for his yoke is a yoke of iron, and his feathers are feathers of bronze. His death is an evil death, and the grave is preferable to it. It has no power over the godly, that will not be burned in its flame. Those who forsake Yahweh will fall into his power. It will burn among them and will not be put out. It will be sent out against them like a lion. Like a leopard, it will mangle them. As you fence in your property with thorns, so make a door and a bolt for your mouth. Wow, that's deep. Make a door and a bolt for your mouth. Just like you fencing your property with the hedge of thorns, so that people don't just go over your fence and just think like it's all good. So you put some thorns there so that if they try to take a chance at doing that, they're going to get cut up. Guard your mouth. Guard what you say about people. Don't talk about people. I know it's hard for some of us, but don't talk about people. If you have something to say to someone, say it to them in their face. It's best to confront them. Not saying it and going on social media and yeah, I'm pulling up and blah, 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 blah. Okay, Imam Musara, nice seeing you on the chat. Hallelujah, happy to see you on the chat. It's a blessing. But yes, guard that tongue. Watch what you say about people. Because words have a way of traveling and getting to the other person. And that's when it becomes dangerous, because by the time it gets to the other person, maybe, you know, they say that well, it wouldn't really be a translation, but There's an Italian saying that says that the translator is a traitor, because by the time you translate something, things get lost in translation. So, hoping and praying that you've gotten something out of this talk tonight. You know, I'll be extremely tired, but so when I miss out weeks is because I'm really, really like exhausted. But tonight I felt like I needed to bring that message to you, because sometimes we go a little bit too far, as we say in the hood. You a little bit too extra. You know what I mean? So before we become a little bit too extra, we need to learn how to control that ruach, that spirit, which is important above all. And once we learn to control that ruach, then we learn to put a bolt in our mouths. Lock your mouth and think before you speak. Because remember, with the mouth, you could blow on a little branch that's lit, but doesn't have flames, and it will glow. But you can also spit on it, and it will die down. So we need to make things die down, and we need to act civil towards each other, and not be at odds with each other and going back and forth and disrespecting each other and doing those things. That's right. It's not what you say, but how you say it. So once again, thanking each and every one of you for making this channel what it is. And that's truly Yah's message, because I just literally opened up the book to that. I didn't, I've studied for such a long time that I could, like, these are chapters that I already know, because I've studied this book like back and forth. So, but sometimes the Most High God moves you in a way in order for you to bring a message, because there's so many people that said they needed this lesson, and I just needed us to really hone in on that. It's a message from the Most High, It's not any of my doing. So, thanking each and every one of you. Remember, we subscribe to the channel. For those of you who are on Facebook and you don't know our channel, right? Or you don't know, please go to our YouTube channel. Let me type it in. D.C.B. That's it right there, D.C.B. Go to our channel, subscribe to our channel. Check out all the content on our channel. It's really great. It's dope. It's a lot of stuff up there, our teachings. Subscribe. And for those of you on YouTube, right? When you subscribe, also hit the little bell right next to the subscribe button. Even if you're subscribed, you might need to hit that little bell right there, so that you will be notified as to every time we're uploading a video or every time we're going live. You will be notified and you will know. So, D.C.B. on YouTube, join us. Subscribe to the channel for those of you on FB. For those of you on YouTube, for the first time, subscribe to the channel. Hit the little notification bell. Hoping and praying that the Most High God give us all a peaceful rest, that we will all see the sunshine in the morning, that we will wake up once again and glorify this great King. Remember, we will begin 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I believe Temple Bethel in Philadelphia is having an anniversary tomorrow, so a lot of brothers and sisters will be traveling down there. Great thing, brothers and sisters uniting and coming together. That's always beautiful. So, thanking each and every one of y'all once again. Tune in tomorrow. May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom.